video is going to give you a quick overview on our inbox section of the software. This section is extremely important as it's where all of your conversations will be loaded into. At the top here from your main dashboard, you're going to see an inbox tab. This little red number in the top right of this tab indicates how many unread messages you have currently in your inbox. I'm going to click here and it's going to take me to the inbox section. Now the way this is set up is the most recent conversation will populate at the top of this list. You can see most of these conversations are in bold lettering. That indicates that this is an unread message. As soon as I click anywhere in the row besides the name, this will turn from bold to unbold, and that indicates that this message has been read. Now, if I accidentally click here and I don't have time to respond, I can always change this from read to unread by clicking this checkbox and marking this as unread. All right, I'm going to click back here though, and we're going to take a look at the conversation. So first here on this row, just to give you a rundown on the layout, obviously the name of the person is going to be in this far left. If I click on this person's name, it's going to take me to their LinkedIn page. Next will be company, following with their job title. This is all pulled from LinkedIn, along with their location. Latest activity is the last time either you or them have communicated. The next row here is going to be which campaign they came from. When you create a campaign, you create a title, and that's what will show up here. This next row here is our labeling section. I recommend that everybody use this feature as much as possible. It's really important in keeping things organized and keeping conversations flowing and giving you data on which campaigns might be working better than others. There will be a separate video to go into detail on how to set up labels, some suggestions there, and how to use them. But just for this video, I will show you how to change the label. So first, to change this person's label, I'd click this empty box here, and I'd be able to change the label to whatever color I'd like. Now to sort by label, I could click here in this top label section, and now I can sort to anybody that I've marked with that label. Once I go back to no label, that gives me the full inbox again. All right, clicking back onto Kelly's row here, that far status column here is really important as well. This actually changes automatically as the conversation flows. So ideally, you never really have to change this status. It's always going to populate with where people are at in the process, and the software does this automatically for you. However, one caveat here is if you want to pull someone out of your automated sequence, you can change this status to either talking, replied, or no interest. That will take this person out of any kind of automation that they're in, and they will no longer receive any automated steps from us. Otherwise, like I said before, you shouldn't really have to change this at all. It's just something to keep an eye on as people progress through conversations. On the far right here, you are going to see the full conversation that this person has had with you. The latest message, most recent, will be at the top here, and you can go down the line to see what other messages had already been sent out. To respond to this person, I would put my cursor in this type message section here, and I can write out my response. Once I click this send LinkedIn message, it's going to send to them as a direct message within LinkedIn. Everything that happens in LinkedIn is carried over into the software though, so you will see the conversation populate here too. Now, if I want to give myself a head start on responding to someone, I can utilize our response message feature. There is a separate video on response messages, but to show you how to use them here in the inbox, you'd select them from the drop-down, and I could choose the copy that I'd like here. It's going to auto-populate into this box, and I can change this as I see fit, maybe add a message or a line or two after this to include in the message that I send. Once I'm happy with this, again, press the send LinkedIn message, and it will send as a LinkedIn direct message to them. As I move down here, you'll see this continue sending messages button. What that button allows you to do is to put someone back into an automated sequence. Oftentimes I'll use this feature if someone responds to my connection request message, maybe just with a thumbs up. It doesn't necessarily warrant me writing a full response to that person. So what I might do is put them back into the sequence. Right below the type message section, you'll see a continue sending messages button here. This button can be utilized if you want to put someone back into an automated sequence. I often use this if someone responds with my initial connection message, maybe with just a thumbs up. That doesn't necessarily warrant me spending some time writing out a next message to them. If I want to save time for myself, I already have a nice message written in my sequence, so I might hit this continue sending messages button to put them back into the automated sequence. This also helps because if they don't respond to my next message, they're still lined up to receive our following automated responses, which can be very helpful. Below that, you'll see our webhook option. This option is if you'd like to connect this software with another software. Again, there will be a separate video here on webhooks as well, but this is where you would choose to push any kind of contact information from this software to another. To do so, you would just choose from this drop down here, and I would click this arrow button here, and it will push this person's contact information, however we have it laid out, to, in this case, it pushes to a Google Sheet. Below that is our contact info section. Now this auto-populates with anything this person has allowed LinkedIn to pull from their profile. If you get a new email address from someone, or if they give you a different phone number, you are able to update that here and save it for yourself for future use. This notes section can be very helpful as well if you want to leave yourself any kind of notes about this person. The only people that will see these notes are anyone who has access to your account in the software. Tags is another awesome feature. This allows you to have another way to sort through people in addition to our labeling feature. So there will be a separate video here. Tags is another awesome feature that you can utilize. This is an additional feature to our labeling system. There is a separate video on tags, but this is where you would tag any kind of conversation you'd like. All you would do here is type in the tag, select it, and save it for yourself. Now if I scroll to the top, you'll see the tag also shows up in the title and tags column here. Additional features here within the inbox section are up at the top here next to this person's name. I have an option to change a label here as well, just as a secondary option. If I want to add this person to a messenger campaign, since they're already connected to me now, I could do so by hitting this button here. I can choose the campaign from the drop-down, and I can either choose to add them now or schedule a time later to add them to that campaign. If I wanted to like this person's last LinkedIn post, I could click this heart button. To endorse their top 3 skills, I would hit the thumbs up. If I wanted to leave myself a reminder to follow up with someone, I could click on this little bell icon here. I could choose a day to be reminded. I could leave myself a note here as well. And then on that day, you'll see a little bell icon will show up at the top here next to your email address, and it will have a little number next to it similar to the way you're seeing the inbox. If I click on that, it will take me directly to that conversation where I can respond. Just as some additional little tools here, this will show you which campaign they've come from. This will take you to their LinkedIn profile. If you wanted to share this conversation with someone who has access to your account, you could copy to the clipboard by hitting that button there. I think that about covers it for this overview. Again, feel free to look up more specific videos that break down some of these key features as well.